Hey, what's up, everybody? So, right now we're going to be talking about a film that will be releasing on Netflix this Friday, August 14th. And to be honest, considering the cast, considering the concept, I was intrigued. I thought the trailer was okay. Nonetheless, we're talking about Project Power. This film does star Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Dominique Fishback. And what basically this film is about is that it takes place in New Orleans and there's a new super drug that's hitting the streets. And this is just no regular drug here, because this drug can go one or two ways for you. You can take it and you can die, which can ultimately be of you blowing up or catching on fire, whatever it may be, or it may grant you the ability to have superpowers. And the superpowers are pretty much predicated by user bases. And not to mention, with that variable, it also is it also has the variable of what mutation you may actually have, considering that the superpowers are pretty much predicated on animals and their genome structure and their evolution. So we're talking about you having the ability to have super strength, bulletproof skin, and invisibility. So kind of all things that kind of mimic and like certain reptiles and certain other animals and so on. But nonetheless, so with the growth of this popular new super drug called Power hitting the streets, it has just sparked a big mainstream of crime. And so that leads three people on the same trajectory to figure out where the hell is all this coming from and how do we stop it. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a New Orleans cop named Frank, who, he wants to clean up the streets. He's a diehard New Orleans native. He rocks his Saints jersey. He's all about the streets of New Orleans. So he's one of those good cops out there just trying to do the job, trying to clean up the streets, trying to figure out where is the source of this coming from. And he has a confidant in a young teenage dealer, Robin, who Robin is a product of New Orleans. She's an inspiring rap artist, which you get to see some of her bars, we'll talk about in a second, displayed in this film. And she's doing the dealing because she's trying to make money for a good cause. I won't reveal that because you can watch, it's kind of spoilery, but you can just find out when watching the film. But she's trying to raise money for a good cause. Nonetheless, on the same parallel trajectory, which they really don't know, is Jamie Foxx's character, who's a former soldier, who is ready to fight power with power. With that being said, he's trying to find out himself and track down the group who was responsible for creating this, as well as the search for his missing daughter. Nonetheless, Jamie Foxx's character, Art, is also being considered one of the most dangerous men on the streets of New Orleans, because there's been a rumor going around saying that he is the creator of this, the creator, the user, and all that other good source with it. So the three of them are on a collision course, all to trying to figure out the root of all evil. So let's talk about some of the good things for this film really quick. Instantly, the film has really dope VFX, and SFX. Sound effects and visuals are really well done, especially when it comes down to an action film. I really love how the sequences were shot. Come to find out, in the very beginning of the film, Machine Gun Kelly is in this film, and he has this amazing action sequence in the beginning with Jamie Foxx, which is just fantastic. It's very intense, and I thought for me it was setting the tone for the entire film. But I really love how it was shot, cinematography, the visuals, even with the CG that was on there. I thought it was really well done. It was a really beautiful action shot to really set the tone in the beginning of this film. Robin, who I talked about, is a young, inspiring artist. I always love New Orleans films when they really pay homage to the New Orleans culture. So her dialect, her lingo, and just that down south like wordplay, I really can get behind. Come to find out, Chica, who is a well-known artist who went viral about 2 years ago, who was actually recruited by Jamie Foxx for this film, wrote the lyrics for Robin, the character Robin, for this film. So they're legit bars. And I will say, for her to be like this young kid, I love how it really was, lyrics wrote for her and not like above her. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really well done. Also, I'm like kind of back and forth about this whole persona of like wanting to be a rap artist and how sometimes it's always portrayed to come off really corny and whatnot. But I thought this was done well. I thought the bars were good. This is one scene in the classroom that it was just straight fire. Can't even lie. It was really well done. But along with the whole concept of embracing the New Orleans culture, I love the murals that are shown in this film. Absolutely cannot have a New Orleans film without showing the artistry in the streets of New Orleans. So that was really well done as well. I also love, again, when it comes down to Dominique Fishback, I love how Netflix is really starting to give more and more young actors and actresses opportunities to be main characters and really showcase their talent. This next generation of actors and actresses, I think, are like getting mainstream publicity by getting in films on Netflix. And I think she's just another case of somebody that, you know, I would love to see more and more with, because the pairing with her and Joseph and the pairing with her and Jamie, I thought was really well done. I mean, those are two mega actors right there, and I think she complements them really well, and the dynamic is really cool. So, but with that being said, I thought the plot was just flimsy a little bit. I also didn't really stay invested the entire time. It was an action film with superpowers, and it didn't keep me hooked because I felt like with so much to build off on from that opening sequence, I thought that set the tone, and I think it didn't continue to carry. And at the same time, you know, while this is a rated R movie, it felt very PG-13-ish to me. I think the rated R comes from, you know, cigarettes and some maybe gore and language possibly, but it just overall felt like a PG-13 movie for me. I think it had a lot of potential that it just left flat. And even in a movie like this, you know, it doesn't always need a sequel, but like I instantly knew I didn't need one because it just didn't leave me wanting more. But you know, it was a lot of corny things after a while, and it just, the plot, the script wasn't all that good to me. I just think that it just left a lot of potential on the table, and I lost interest by, you know, for this to be almost a 2-hour movie, I lost interest about halfway through it, which is not a good thing. And because it had the recipe for success, considering the cast, considering the concept. Action films typically do really good, especially on Netflix, and anything with superpowers automatically has a fan base. And I think even with the buzz that it got from its trailer, I thought, you know, for me, a lot of people are going to be interested into this, and I think a lot of people will be sort of disappointed because it just didn't deliver to the utmost potential. But yeah, Project Power, you know, I think, you know, it comes out this Friday. I definitely curious to hear what other people think about this. For me, I was left unsatisfied here. A lot more could have been done. And it just fell flat in all ways, shape, or form. But nonetheless, I'll say this to leave you off on something positive. The visuals alone are really well done. I just would have liked to seen it just up the ante more and more as the film progressed, because the opening sequence of Machine Gun Kelly and Jamie Foxx was so well done. I just, you know, and even in the final act, there's a scene with Jamie Foxx I thought was well done too, but it just still wasn't even better than the opening one. Like, I felt like we was trending back into the right direction of it, you know, really dragging me back in, and it really just fell flat. It just, again, I think they just didn't have a lot to work with when it came down to the script, and it left a lot of holes and things. So, but anyway, let me know what you think after you see it this Friday, and as always, stay tuned because more reviews will come to you really soon.